Hmm. Shalom, 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 saints of the Most High Yah. This is Pastor Rufus coming back to you again from the service of Yah with another video. This one is titled Cloke of Maliciousness, the understanding of it. Let's get started with some text, with some law right away. Hallelujah. Ezekiel 18 verse 30 says, "Therefore I will judge you, O house of Israel, everyone according to his ways, saith Yahweh thy Elohim. Repent and turn yourselves from all your transgressions, so iniquity shall not be your ruin. Cast away from you all your transgressions, whereby ye have transgressed, and make you a new heart and a new spirit. For why will you die, O house of Israel? For I have no pleasure in the death of him that dieth, saith Yahweh thy Elohim. Wherefore, turn yourselves and live." Let's go to Proverbs 24. Proverbs 24. I just read Ezekiel 18 verses 30 through 32. I want to go to Proverbs 24 verses, let's see here. You know what? I think we can probably, all right. Let's start at let's just start at verse 16. Proverbs 24:16 says, "For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief." Verse 17, "Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumble." We're going to get into some more here. I wanted to start off with those because I wanted to establish quickly what the sentiments of the Most High is. He don't get excited about people dying and going to hell. Again, he's all about a cheerful giver in anything that you do. And he's telling you to live. He knows that walking out your life in the fruits of the Spirit, living holy, being set apart, and taking the things of evil, turning from them and repenting from them, that is you choosing to live. You hear it all the time. People say, man, I'll die for him, I'll die for him. And really, when you really think about it, it's a cliche, because what Yah really wants us to do is live for those individuals. Be an example that they can follow that will get them into the kingdom. And then it also talks about the state you need to be in when your enemies fall. Because again, we read how the enemies are going to fall. They don't have any choice but to. They don't have no choice. But we still have a certain position and we need to present ourselves in and have a certain spirit about. Remember, say have a new heart and have a new spirit. That's what we need to be in, even when people fall short. No matter if we call them our enemies or whatever the case may be, there shouldn't be any gloating. There shouldn't be any happiness. There shouldn't be any rejoicing and smiling and laughing and throwing up gifs, or gifts, whatever y'all call those things, GIFs all over the place, and mocking the people and wishing damnation on them. Because again, the Father himself don't even desire people to die. He preferred people to live. And this is why I want to do a video like this, because I believe that in the body of Christ, here in the house of Israel, I believe that there is a spiritual shortage going on, a spiritual letdown. The book speaks about how in the last days there was going to be a drought in this area, and people was not going to be able to hear the word of Yah. That doesn't mean that as a man of Yah, you stop preaching, you stop teaching, you stop yelling to the rooftops, you stop crying aloud and sparing not when you see things that are flat out evil. You hear me? Flat out evil. Now, I talked about in one of the videos how this world, the wickedness and the thoughts of this world, when you think like the rulers of this world, and y'all know who those people may be, the ones that control the money, the ones that control the religious world and all those things. When you start to think and function and operate like them and start to teach the people their ways and not Yah's ways, telling them things like, hey, look, don't own nothing, don't have your name on nothing, but make sure you can control all of it. That's a evil thought. That's a evil, that's a damnable heresy being taught to you. Because guess what? Book that. You can't book that. You can't book something simple like that. But it ain't simple, because what it does is it teaches you how to put a cloak of maliciousness over things and make people think you're doing something righteous and you're doing something holy for the people. But all the while, you're putting them in bondage. You're taking the liberty of freedom that you have and using it maliciously. We're going to get to that later. All right. But let's get started. Y'all see what it is here. This is a video. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Video here put out by none other than Charles Dowell. And this is a video of him building a house. And I want to show y'all, literally show you what a cloak of maliciousness looks like in a scenario. Okay. So let's get going with this. Y'all know I'm going to try to let it run. I don't even remember how long this video is. What, 14 minutes? How long is this video? Yeah, so it ain't that long. So this shouldn't take long for us to really break down. I want to give you and show you, you know, I know you need to hear, but in this generation, visuals is what helps y'all when y'all can see something right before your eyes. But faith comes by hearing. So I'm asking you to open up your spiritual ears and open up your spiritual eyes and open up your heart, this new heart that you're supposed to have, we just talked about, and listen to what's being said so you can see what is going on right before you. All right, let's get going with this. Let's go.
Still doing a lot of building. We got our brothers down here from Wisconsin. Right now, as you can see, we're putting up the soundproofing right now in here. We're gonna start putting the ceilings up in here. We done passed all.
Now, real quick, I can tell y'all something. Don't be fooled by the optics. You know, the pencils coming out of the ears and all the head on backward and all that. I know when this man is actually working, and when he's not really putting in a lot of work. This ain't a day where he put in a lot of work. He wants to give the image to you all that that's what's going on right now, but that's not. He may do a couple little small things here and there. Ain't no, and that day, because again, there's been accusations against him, so he may have spent a little bit more time. But I can tell by the way he's dressed, it ain't a ton of work going on, and he's probably got something else to do outside of there. But let's go get this video. Let's try to present something to you that's not really truly what it is, and I'm going to break it down for you. All right, I'm going to break it down for you. But I wanted to say that because y'all will look here at these optics and see the pencils sticking out of the hat and hat on backwards and all this kind of stuff and think that he's really working. This is not the clothes he puts on to work. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
All the inspections concerning the framing, the plumbing, the electricity. So they're in here cutting the installation. Ariel is in here putting it in place and stuff. And mind you, this is soundproofing as well as insulation in here. These lights come in extremely handy that you see hanging up over here. And so we're trying to stay one step in front of them. Also, got a nice little light right here. And of course, it's a long way down right there. Of course, we have the brethren from Georgia in there, which I'll go around and let y'all see them. We are, you know, I've been, ever since we've been in this reset, I've actually had Alabama up here to spend a week with us so they can learn how community ought to operate. And
now, I'm going to stop right there. He said, we've already had Alabama here so they can learn how a community should operate. Now, what I'm going to have to do for y'all, because I'm not going to make this a 2-hour long video. I'm not. I'm going to get in and get out, give you something quick to meditate on and study on, okay? But that's where the cloak of maliciousness is starting already. First off, and just to tire, to give you the idea that I'm working. I got pencils on both sides of my head, my hat on backwards, blah, blah, blah. That's not even a hat he would work in, typically. That's not a shirt he would work in, typically. Again, this is a man I know. All right? So the deception is already on just by the attire. Secondly, saying that he brought Alabama there to learn how to do community, what I need for y'all to do is go back in his archives. Y'all can go back to any time in 2023 and the beginning of 2024 and see him make videos about Alabama and talk about how well it was when he was on the land. It looks great. It's doing well, blah, 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 blah. Alabama didn't need lessons on how to be a good community. They were already a good community. When this man cut off the good counsel that Bama could get from myself, Mother Jennifer, the saints at Straitway, Georgia, that's when the people started to revolt at Alabama, because he did some teachings trying to push people away from me and start telling everybody, if you're not happy at the place you at, make your request and we'll see about moving. A lot of people at Alabama started making their requests and saying they wanted to leave there. Because at the end of it, when this person pulled me away from Alabama, things started to go really, really, really haywire. Really haywire. All right. But Alabama wasn't brought here to Straitway week before, like he just said, to show them how to do community. Really what they were brought for was to do work. He's not even going to mention that Brother Jonathan and the brothers, right, had to build him a building for the, it's a little building you have to build, y'all, where you will essentially feed the wood that's going to make it, because he's got this elaborate heating system in his floor. Mind you, this is a 13,000 square foot building. The lower level was 6,600 square feet, y'all. That's three big houses for most of y'all on the lower level. And he has the same amount on the bigger level. Okay. What he brought them for is to build that building. Now, mind you, he just said, you see the Georgia brothers working. I thought they were there to learn how community is supposed to run. They know how to work. You see that from all the stuff in Georgia. Remember, it was said by this man, I'm going to go to Georgia and I'm going to come back and show y'all all the stuff they haven't done. Where's that video at? Where's that video? I wanted him to go and record everything that's on that 1.5 acres of land that he stole from, that's in his name, though. But we built up. I wanted him to show you the house in the multi-purpose building. I wanted him to show you the land with the footer on it, where we was going to build a building for the brothers. I wanted you to show you the big house. Everything that we had was already being worked on. And the 1.5 acres, we've maxed it out. I wanted him to go around the corner and show you Jaja's house, who we stripped down to the joist and rebuilt that whole thing. Everything on the inside and on the roof is brand new. The only thing that's old on Jaja's house is the block, is the brick. That's it. The wiring, the plumbing, the flooring, the walls, the electrical, all of it is 100% brand new. I wanted him to show y'all that. You notice you never got that video. This is the cloak of maliciousness stuff I'm talking about. He says it, and then he'll come back and say, well, I'm the one you can trust because I've been doing this 30 years. But we're lying in the words that we're saying. Alabama was doing fine before he destroyed everything we had going on down there in Georgia, which Alabama, Cleveland, Georgia East was all included in that. It was fine. And you got videos. If you want to be studious, go back to those videos. He's got plenty of videos on here where he's literally telling you himself how proud he is of Alabama and how they're doing a great job on this community. Mind you, they're under my leadership at that time. Jonathan's on that land, but I'm still like the one that Jonathan comes to if he needs anything and all of that. He's praising Alabama then. Now, all of a sudden, they need to learn how to do community the right way. No, they don't. They need you to get out of the way and let them grow spiritually. But the main reason why he had him there, and he's not going to mention this in this, but those of you that actually care, you can go ask him. He actually said it. Actually, look at one of the other videos, the one that he did, not with Alabama testifying, because that's really a testimony of the saints that live on the land, which they are good. I'm talking about the one he did before that, talking about Alabama. He told you then they built the building for him. He brought him there to work for him. That's what he brought him there for. But he's cloaking it, making you think it's a spiritual thing that we bring them here and we getting the residue of Pastor Rufus off them and teaching them the right way. They knew the right way before. They knew the right way before. This is where the envy and the jealousy comes in at, because here it is. You see a man like myself running it and doing it just like you. Because think about it, there was no other community outside of Straitway, Georgia, that was doing it like Straitway. Meaning Straitway was the hub, right? And they had a bunch of little small communities around them coming there for fellowship. Georgia was there, and we had a bunch of little small communities there to help us, small communities around us coming there to fellowship. We did a lot of stuff together. We traveled together to other communities to help out. I was following the mantra. I was following the model. The problem was he's looking at me and saying he don't look like me. He don't have the skills that I have. He don't do what I do, but how is he being effective just like me? That's what it envy. Because people say, what would he be envious of? That. Seeing that someone is efficient in what they're doing, and it don't take them going and pumping, taking a bunch of pills and pumping themselves up with testosterone and huffing and puffing and being all arrogant and bench pressing 400 pounds and doing all this kind of stuff. Lying to the people like we out here working hard, lifting blocks every single day. It didn't take all of that. Y'all saw how many brothers was there just in a little bit that you saw. What's he needed for? Let's keep it a buck. I won't start lying and capping. All right. Just because he does. What is he needed there for? Oh, I'm here to give instruction to God. That's what Bud is doing every day. He's built the building for you. You ain't done nothing. Really. You ain't done nothing. It's this cloak, y'all. It's this covering. It's this all right. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this since we're here. Let's do this. All right. Let me pull out. Let's read this here. Let's see what let's see what the word cloak means. That is the Greek word 1942. And it means covering. Covering. All right. Let me get to it here. Get out of there. Go to my. Where do I want to go? First Peter. That's where I want to go. First Peter 2, y'all. First Peter 2. Verse. Let's see where we're going to start. With what I'm doing, you may be. All right. Let's start verse 15. First Peter 2, verse 15. It said, I'm going to take it off of that. If I can read it better. For so is the will of Yah, that with well-doing you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. Then it says, as free, listen close, y'all, as free and not using your liberty, don't take your freedom and abuse it. But this is what it's going to say. Listen, I'll start again at verse 16. As free and not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as a servant of Yah. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Now, let's go ahead and define maliciousness. That's Greek word 2549. Badness. Now, you already got a covering with the cloak. You covering your badness. You covering your depravity. You're covering malignity, your trouble, your evil, your malice, your naughtiness, your wickedness. Don't take your freedom and cover it with all these things. Don't be free and walk in badness, depravity, malignity, trouble, evil, malice, naughtiness, wickedness. Don't cover that up. Don't abuse your freedom to do these things. That's what's going on here. Because you're not going to hear the full truth. You're not. You're not going to hear the full truth. And he's not going to flat out tell you truly what's going on in his heart and what he's doing. He wants you to think that it's something spiritual. But all the while, it's just free labor. It's just free labor to build up his kingdom. All right? Let's get back to this. All right? Let's get back to this and let's go. All right? Because I don't want to be all day.
The way it should go. They wasn't very successful. And now they got a real good idea. They've learned a lot by being up here a week. And now this week is Georgia's week. Y'all keep going. Don't let me.
Now, again, they came for a whole week. And he said they were not very successful. I want you, if you care, some of you won't. If you care, I want you to go back to his videos. A couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, last year. Look at the videos where he's talking about Alabama. Does it sound like they weren't successful when he was there? Get the videos when he's on the ground. Talk about how great of a job Jonathan's doing and how it looks good and da 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 da. And all of a sudden they're not successful at community. You know why they're not successful at community? Because the lifeline to them got cut off. There was a lifeline there to give them knowledge and understanding, like a true pastor is supposed to give them wisdom, to guide them. And because of his envy and jealousy, he cut it off. And the people revolted. Now, when you go look at the land, because it's manicured and it's cut well and the garden looks good and all that, you will think this is a great community. Look at them. They are prosperous. Oh, they're growing. But if they're growing, why are all the people upset at Alabama? Why is everybody at Alabama requesting to move out of Alabama? And not everyone, a lot of folk. Let's put it that way. Why do we have brethren in Alabama saying, I'm not giving no more money to Alabama? And you're being forced to move them to your community so you can collect their money. Huh? Why would someone say that? That's my fault. They weren't saying that when I was around. This is the cloak of maliciousness y'all need to see. But this 14-minute video is to make you think differently. Let's go.
Stop y'all, okay? So there's Brother Miliano and Brother Mike right here hanging rock in here, and there's Brother Vincent in there. And of course, Israel over there on the window. And of course, again, we're hanging the walls up in here right now. And again, this is Straitway, Wisconsin. You know, when y'all see them on Facebook doing the finished jobs of a lot.
Y'all already heard the testimony of them guys. You heard Jordan. Jordan is right here, y'all. This is Jordan. He leads this team of guys that do this rural interiors. You already heard his testimony. He don't even care if he has an inheritance for his child, because he gets to live really lavishly on $50 a month up there in a mansion with Kabir. Even though he's bringing in, him and his crew's bringing in almost $300,000 a year for Kabir. I heard that from Kabir, y'all. I'm not making that up. He told me that. This year they should make about $300,000. That's what he told me. But this man's right here who runs it, he's happy that he gets $50 a month because he has a sauna and a whirlpool and a pool to swim in and a gym to play basketball in. He get free haircuts and he get all the Netflix that he wants, da 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 da. But he has zero inheritance. He's doing all this work with these boys, these brothers, bringing in $300,000 a year. They have nothing in their name, y'all. Nothing. No assurances. All they do, they have to trust in Kabir to be benevolent to them. Think about that. To be benevolent to them. Did we not just read in 1 Peter what we're not supposed to do with our freedom and our liberty? This is a bad thing when men are out working their tail off and bringing in all kind of money and they have zero assurances of their future. The only assurance they have is if you do what I tell you to do, when I tell you to do it, you'll be able to stay here. But guess what? Let Jordan, right here, let Ryan, I think that's Isaiah. I can't remember if it's him or not. Whatever his name is. Let any of these brothers tell Kabir they don't like what he's doing. He will put them out by his order over here, by Dowell's order, and they will have nothing. They won't get any of their money back. They probably won't even get their cars that they came with, all that. They won't get nothing because he will order and say, hey, they wicked, they weak. Get them out of there. Y'all can't see how this thing is being covered up. This cloak is on it to make you think that it's something righteous. Ain't that what the Catholic Church does? Don't they pay everybody's bills in the world? They got all the soup kitchens and clothing banks and everything in the world. You can get any kind of assistance financially from the Catholic Church. All you Christian churches and all the other places, you won't do nothing for your people. But the Catholics will pay and do all of that as long as you ignore their wickedness and their evil. So then you wonder when I say this has become Christian, this has become Catholic. They're following the mantra of their true dad, of their true mom. They are. They're not following Yah. Because Yah said in Leviticus 25, if you bring your brethren in, at the worst, they should be as a hired hand. Go read Leviticus 25. We can't turn our brothers into bond servants. It actually gives us instructions on who to turn into bond servants. It does. It gives instructions on who it should. You understand what I'm saying? But this is righteous. This is holy. Getting them come all the way down from Wisconsin. Put all of this. This is a 13,200 square foot home. And they coming down with the Georgia brothers, with all the other younger brothers on the land to sheetrock all of this for him. And they'll get a good hot meal and some drinks and some live stories and be told, thank you for your service. Now, again, I have no problem going to serve brothers for free because you should be servants. That's better when I'm out doing this and I got assurances that I have a home and some land that I own that I can leave to my son and my son's son. The Bible said a righteous man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Jordan got on here and told y'all, go look at his video on Kabir's page, y'all. KGB 94 TV or whatever it's called. He said, I don't care. Who wants to leave an inheritance for my child? Who you think told him that? But I guarantee the guy that told him that, Kabir, he got inheritance for his children. Oh, I played in the NFL. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You want inheritance for them, but you don't have no inheritance for their children. In writing. I'm talking about in writing, not your word, because we can't trust you. I don't care what this man tell y'all. You can trust me? No, you can't. You got hundreds of people here saying you can't. All the people that have had to leave that land because of his wickedness, where's their inheritance at? Why does it take somebody like me to go out and start a fund called the Where's My Inheritance Fund to help them get something back? Because when they leave his land, guess what? You get nothing. Let's go.
All the plastering jobs they're doing, the love of the brothers. They come down here to put in a labor of love to help pastor with his house, Jordan and the crew, and they doing a good job. You know, it's something to watch people who do this all the time, because when you see them that do it all the time, they move so fast, so efficient, and I can understand that because, you know, when you are doing block and stuff like it's the same thing. But anyway, so now this week we got Georgia, Straitway, Georgia here. And of course, what we're doing is I'm actually showing them the way that the community runs from the brother side and the way that the community runs from the sister side. And then once they get a real good live example, instead of a bunch of chaos and discord,
all right. Instead of a bunch of chaos and discord, what I want y'all to do, those that actually care, all right, ask Mr. Dowell. All right, Mr. Dowell, ask him, how many times did you get complaints from saints in Georgia? Before all this happened between you and Pastor Rufus, tell me the time that any saint that lived on that land came to you, Elder Becker, or any other elders that complain about anything on that land. How do we have a bunch of chaos and drama? When I ran that community from 2011, then we moved on the land in 2013 to 2024. And not one saint ever came to leadership and complained. Georgia has never been in an ecclesiastical council as a community. Ever. Ever. So make it make sense. All of a sudden it's chaos. See the cloak that's being put on it? I'm going to say something, and because I'm who I am and the reputation I have, you're going to believe it. It's just not true, though. And again, you have facts right in front of you. Tell any of them leaders to tell you any time before this all started, name the one time that anybody came and complained about anything going on in Straitway, Georgia. The money, the food, the housing, the spirit, the environment on land, any of it. Find that complaint and tell them to come up and testify about it. Because you got a bunch of other false testimonies coming from people, or not a bunch, but a couple testimonies of people trying to get into favor with you. Bring those people up so we can hear the truth. You're saying it. Where is your proof of it? Because the chaos didn't start until you did what you did and destroyed Straitway, Georgia. Let's go.
Get that, then it motivates them. You seen the testimony of Straitway, Alabama. Every single one of them testified. To put up a video yesterday about how beneficial it was for them. It should have been something. It's probably going to be something I'm going to require of every new community so they can get off on the right foot and know what to expect and what they.
Do you know why that's going to be required of every new community? Because he's going to control every new community. See, the people at Straitway, Alabama, which y'all don't understand, like these people that may come up and testify for me, I have zero control over their livelihood, over their homes, over their lands, their house. I don't own none of it. I don't control none of it. They do it because it's the right thing to do, and it's true. Now, Alabama, guess what? Guess who controls the whole thing in Alabama? They gave over almost $900,000 to Pastor Dowell. He controlling all of it. So when they need money, they got to go to him. When they need money, they got to go directly to him. I know at the time I had left, he had gave them between 250 and 300,000. I didn't have to like looking it up. I know it wasn't over 300,000 though. So yeah, you can demand someone like that to testify of your goodness when you control their livelihood. And guess what? They see now what he's doing to me. So you don't think that put fear in everybody when they know, hey, if I'm living here in Georgia, Straitway, Georgia, and Dow owns this little piece of land, if I even think the question, he could put me off. In Georgia East down there, where he got the land from Mom Muncie, and Mom Muncie had told him, I want this land for the Saints. I've always visited for the Saints. He made a house for his wife, decked it out with new furniture, everything, all that stuff. The Saints was not living in that home. He moved Brother Robert and his wife down there and made them stay in their travel trailer until Robert was able to turn a tin building into livable space for them. Robert never once got to live in that home that was already there and paid for on that 5 acres of land that Mom Muncie gave to the ministry. She didn't even give it to Pastor Dow. Now, of course, he's over the ministry, so she gave it to him. And he put it in his name. And she said it's for the Saints. And the Saints are just now getting it. But now you got that sister from North Carolina I told y'all about who's living there, right? But she's only there because she had $200,000. Ask Dow, did he get her $200,000? Y'all already know. I know you're not going to ask her, so most of you don't even care. Most of you don't even care about treating people with righteousness. But he moved her in there once he knew he could get that $200,000 from her. And there's chaos there. The Saints are not getting along there in Alabama. They're not getting along in Georgia East. I know all of this. Do I like hearing it? Hell no. I hate it. Because guess what? Nobody had problems when I was there. Nobody had issues when I was there. Why? They could come to me and we would get them solved. We would get them resolved. Jonathan could come to me and counsel anytime. Him and his wife. But Brother Robert and his wife could come to me anytime. Elder Brent could come to me anytime. And we had each other to build off of too. We never had issues that got to Straitway. Never. Now all of a sudden there's chaos everywhere. Everybody's got to come and learn from Dow how to run community when the communities were fine all these years. People don't know Georgia East been around for a decade, y'all. They're not new. They've been around a decade. Dow just had that house down there in the last 5 years for his wife, not letting the Saints utilize it. If I'm lying, ask Robert. If I'm lying, ask Robert. Ask Brother Brandon. Ask any of them people down there, Jonathan. You can ask them all. If I'm lying, ask them. But this is righteousness. This is not abuse of your freedom and your liberty. You ain't cloaking your maliciousness. You sure you're not? Let's go.
The expectations is rather than having someone that's ruling from their own mind and oppressing the people, you know what I mean? People need to know exactly the way that things run so they're not told that such pastor said, and then come to find out that pastor ain't never said it all. So the brother in here.
I don't want to just keep stopping. I think y'all can look through the lies of all of this right here. I don't think I have to just keep stopping because all this is just lies. Anything we did, if I gave a directing and pastor gave his opinion on it, I did. It's the same way when pastor said, when I added, what's his name? Brother Vincent and his family, and added Mom Melissa and her boys to the community. When it came back to him, oh, I don't remember that. You're just lying because other people were there. When Vincent called Straitway to verify, to make sure that I wasn't lying, Elder Becker confirmed it. That's 2 witnesses, y'all. Yes, Pastor Dow did say that you're supposed to be a part of the community. And he comes back and confirms them the next day. Then you can put a battery in Vincent's back after everything goes down and think that he can get favor from you, which he never will, and tell him, no, I never said that. You got to hear it directly from me. So then Vincent gets up here and starts lying about everything. Because of this man right here, this Cloke. Y'all need to see it. But again, if they're supposed to be learning how to do community, they're supposed to be learning how not to be oppressed and be taken advantage of, why are they just working? What's he teaching them by hanging sheetrock that they already know how to do? What's he teaching them by putting in insulation, which we already know how to do? Say we don't. We built the house. We remodeled many homes and many trailers. We built the multi-purpose building. We was building homes. We've helped Indiana do their building. We've helped many times in Indiana do their yard work. We've helped Kentucky build their buildings. We know how to build down there in Georgia. So what are you teaching them, Dow, by having them do the installation and the sheetrock? And I'm telling you, at the evening, you ain't getting down. Not during the week. He's down there at his house with his children, his family. And he ain't thinking about you. I would love to know how many hours he spent with them brothers today talking about how it's supposed to be. No, they coming there to work, y'all. And you see it, though. It's right here in your face, but you'll ignore it. They're there to work, just like Alabama was. Alabama worked that whole week. This is what I ask y'all to do. I'm going to get back to this video. I'm going to let it run. Go look at the testimony of Alabama. Do I believe those saints are telling the truth about their experience at Straitway with the other saints that live at Straitway? Yes, I do. Listen closely to their testimonies. They will praise Pastor Dow in the beginning and say, hey, thank you, Pastor Dow, blah, 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 blah. That seems programmed. No problem. But after that, listen and see how much they're actually talking about what Pastor Dow taught them while they were there for that week. I'd venture to guarantee Pastor Dow didn't spend an hour or 2 hours with them saints total. Whole time they were there. They talked about their experience with all the other saints, all the other sisters and all of that. That's what they talked about. And those people are great. They're just depressed too. That's all. So I believe the testimony about the other saints. That don't mean Dow's done nothing for them, though. Again, we're going to present this to you to make you think it's a certain way. That's what we're going to do. He won't talk about all the people that don't want to live at Alabama because of how bad things are going spiritually for them. Do their land look fine and everything's taken care of? Yeah. Yeah. Get into their finances. Get into the way of the treatment of the people. Get into the atmosphere of the community. Get into the spiritual side, the real fruit. Get into that and let's see what happens. Because what I'm hearing from what we call it, eyewitnesses that are living on these lands and all that, that ain't how it's going. It's a shit show. That's their words. Let's go.
Willfully, here giving the labor of love, they're getting it in.
He's showing y'all everybody working for him. Look at all these men.
And I'm going to get out of their way, and I'm going to go ahead and head back down here to finish the back end that I'm doing for different months. We got data line that's ran throughout all the house. We have data line. We have RJ45 line, Cat 6 line that's run throughout all the houses. So it's going to be very efficient concerning the internet and concerning communications, including the intercom system. It's just going to be a nice thing. And so this is what we're doing right now. Now, mind you, I am 3 years running on building this house. And of course, all the Israelites, we're the ones that's building it. Now we got held up a few times because we was waiting on the foam walls to come in. We got jacked around on that. But anyway, they did finally come in. But you know, we got a lot to do. So a lot of insulation is going up right now here and up in the attics as well. You can see it. We got it everywhere. You got to have it everywhere. And like I said, I'm 3 years running on this house. Now, over the years, people have seen me go from one end of the United States of America to another. And I have built houses, including here on the community with myself and the brother over the years. But this is the first time I'm actually moving into my own house. And of course, with that done, you know, the labor is worthy of his hire. And that's another thing. You're going to find out what type of shepherds that there are out there. We're going to find out who's really, truly leading by example. You're going to find out if they even have a word. If they have a word, you're going to see if they can preach. You're going to see if they can teach. We're also going to see, because see, Pastor Dow didn't build Straitway off of another man's work, off another man's labor, or off of another man's back.
I love when he says this, y'all. I really do. I love when he says this because let's keep it a buck. Every single person that is at Straitway now, did they come from just sitting around, sitting on their couches? Huh? How did they get to Straitway? Were they not a part of Muslim groups, Christian groups? You've seen the testimonies coming from the camps, all this. So how you not building your ministry off another man's word? You saying you're going to see if people who can preach and teach. At the end of the day, that ain't what's supposed to lead the folk. How about truth? How about love? How about righteousness, Dow? I don't need to be a smooth talker. Nobody needs to be a smooth talker like you and convince the folk to come in and turn themselves into bond servants to you. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not going to do that. I can just say it now. I ain't trying. I ain't going to do it because it ain't the book. The book says that Jesus clearly told us that these are our brethren. And I'm going to build them up without zero obligation. You can go look. I got a video called Love Without Obligation. That's what it's supposed to be. When I look at the disciples, y'all, because remember, That was the Acts of the Apostles, right? Ain't that how we were supposed to go after Jesus gave them the command? Isn't that how it's supposed to be? Which one of them said, Jesus, come and serve me and do exactly what I say. If not, get away from me. I don't love you no more. Which one of the disciples, even when the people sold some of their stuff and brought it to them to help out people that didn't have it, which one of them said, look, now you got to follow me. I'm giving you to help you. Like he's saying, I've been all over the country helping build houses. That's not true. That's a lie. All over the country. You stay right there in the South. All your communities in the South. All of them are. Where else you been? You ain't been to California. You ain't been to New York. You ain't been way up north to build houses. Where you been? Where you been? High as you been is Indiana. Low as you been is Arkansas. Where you been? Stop lying to the people. At the end of the day, this cloak of maliciousness needs to be exposed, and y'all need to see what is really, truly going on. Just because someone says something, that don't make it to be truth. Can he show you that his hands have been blessed from working? Yes. But I'm telling you right now, it ain't him. It's all the brethren doing the work. Look how many brothers are there working on his house now. I guarantee you, he didn't stay long after that. He got on, look at this. He got on this hat right here. The brothers blessed him with that hat. That's their company. You think he's finna work on a brand new hat like that? Get it all sweaty and all that? He gonna do a couple numbers. He might got pencils to do a little of this. Make it look like I'm working hard. He ain't finna get in and do no work. Just like Jamie told y'all, he'll come, do a video, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes later, he gone. That's what he finna do today. I guarantee you that's what happened. Unless there was something technical that him and Bud had to go over, putting in work. Who's going to dress like this to do insulation? To put up sheetrock? Nobody. None of us is. Again, I'm trying to show y'all the cloak of maliciousness that's being pulled, what he wants y'all to believe. I have zero desire for any of y'all to come out of this bondage that you're in and follow me. Because again, just follow Christ. You can follow me as I follow Christ, but you don't have to be my servant. You don't have to submit yourself to me as your pastor. At the end of the day, I'm a pastor regardless if you say it or not. Because I'm a servant of the Most High Yah. That's why we servants of Yah. Y'all understanding what I'm saying? I don't need a flock to say this is my pastor. What I need them to do is be the men of their homes and the patriarchs of their home and not let another man like this fleece them out of all their land, all their hard labor, and all of the money that they earn. That's what's going on right now. Let's go. But again, I love when he says, every time he says it, I get excited. When he says, I ain't building off another man's work. How many people sitting you down? How did you get Elder Becker down? Huh? Did your preaching bring him or did Stairs preaching bring him? See, you're a liar, bro. Some of y'all that care, go ask Elder Becker to testify to y'all how he got the straitway. It didn't have shit to do with Dow. It didn't. Stair put the thing out there, and Dow's done this too and raped the people. I'm a witness to it, unfortunately. Stair put a mandate out there and said, hey, look, you want to see how serious these people are? He got up and talking to Dow. Then he got up at the meeting, in the tent meeting, and said, look, everybody that's serious about the Most High, you're supposed to sell off. Go sell it and bring it back to me. Guess who was in the crowd to hear that, y'all? Elder Becker. And guess what Elder Becker did? The same thing Stair told him to do. Went back to Minnesota, sold all his stuff, and gave it to Stair. And then Stair told him, because you know how to build, you can help him. You can help Dow down there. So he sent him down to Straitway. I thought you built this all yourself, Dow. And then people don't know, Elder Becker is the master builder really there on that land. Dow learned a lot of stuff along the way, but Elder Becker was the main one that came and taught them how to build. They built them before? Yeah, but they had all kind of help. All Stair would send Roberts and all these other groups of people that he had down there in the community. They would all come help Dow and them. Now I didn't want to act like that help wasn't nothing. And he had 70 people on the land. I don't want y'all to think that it was Dow and 2 people down there doing all this work, because it wasn't. That's his own testimony if you listen close. But Elder Becker came and he was already an established builder. He took Straitway to the next level when it came to building. Not Dow. Can Dow build? Absolutely. He should be proud of the fact that he was able to learn how to do block real good. He was able to learn how to do furniture and make cabinets and all that kind of stuff. That's great. Good job, Dow. You don't get no pat on the back. That's called reasonable service. That's what the book call it. You want to be praised. You want accolades for it. You want men to follow you because you've learned how to do these things. Let me tell y'all again. When you see this building and all this natural stuff going on, that is not what Jesus is talking about when he says you will know them by their fruits. Please go back and meditate on that and really read before and after and see what Jesus is talking about, because he will give you the examples of what real fruit is. And it is not building buildings, y'all. It is not planting gardens and all that. You get blessed by the labors of your hands. That's not what Jesus is talking about with fruit. So people that think that this is fruit, this is the fruit he's talking about, you got problems. Is this stuff good? Yes. As long as it's not slave labor. As long as you're not putting this cloak of maliciousness over your brothers and got them working for free and they get nothing for it. Where's their land, Dow? You got 110 acres there at Straitway, if I'm correct. And you probably bought some more. Why is all the patriarchs there? All the heads of them households, Scott, Elder Becker, Deacon, Brett, JC. I'm not sure if I'm missing somebody else or not. Why they don't have land in their name? They're doing the work. They bringing in the money. You ain't had a job. You ain't had a W-2 job since the late 90s. Why is no land in their name? Why does all of it have to be controlled? Remember what he said. None of it is owned by him. It's in the name of the foundation. Tell the people who controls the foundation. Them brothers don't. Them brothers don't. Put it out there for everybody to see. He taught y'all. Go look at the video. Own nothing, control everything. That's a wicked, wicked teaching. Okay, now we're in Romans. Let's get to Romans. It says, Romans 1, verse 29, it says, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, being disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, this is a big one, without natural affections. Because see, when y'all read that, a lot of y'all think that's that alternative lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. The way a lot of these people function, especially this dude, where's the natural affection for your brother? How does it go from one day I will praise him because he's doing the things I want him to do. Then when we have a disagreement, I want him dead. I'm glad he has no seed. I want him murdered. I'm putting batteries in people back and letting them go and want to fight it. Let's get in a ring. Let's sign a contract. How do we get there? How do we get there? Where's the natural affection you're supposed to have for your brother if we're supposed to be in the body together and coming together? I'll say it again for the record. This man is the one that denied me multiple times. Go ask all the leaders that was there, y'all. He denied me multiple times of reconciling this situation. He had it set in his heart. I ain't reconciling. I'm not going to trust this man. I never want to be around him again. Is that not natural? I'll read it again. I'll read it the way it is here, so I don't have to just paraphrase since I'm right here. I'll read it again. Without natural affection, implacable. Let me show you what implacable means, because I know most of you probably don't understand what that word means. Let's pull it up. That's the Greek word 786. 786. Implacable, right? That is truceless. Who is Dowell at truce with? They talked about it earlier about the debates. Who's he at truces with? Being implacable means truceless. This man can't have a truce with nobody. Me, Ringo, New Breed, Brainwaves, Rollo, Geno Jennings, you name it. I can just keep going on and on. This man is constantly in debate with somebody. And guess what, y'all? That's how the saints live down there. You don't think I get the reports? That's how they live. Dowell is constantly arguing and debating and going back and forth with one of the brethren down there. Always arguing and yelling at somebody. He is not fulfilled unless he can debate, unless he can argue, unless he can yell and scream at somebody. That's what this word implacable means. I needed y'all to know that he's fulfilling this. It says truceless, truce breakers. Oh, yeah, we'll stop talking. Then you go slick hate. There's no covenant with this. This is covenant breaking. Again, if you don't agree with me, you can't be with me. I told Brainwaves, I put it in this chat, told the brother I love him, but I also told him he'd be a fool to think that he could sit down with this man right here and have any kind of truthful biblical conversations, because all this man is going to do is try to convince you that what he's doing is right and you should follow him. That's it. Who I'm trying to convince to follow me? I don't need you to follow me. Follow what I do. Treat people with love, honor, and respect. Build men up so they are the patriarchs of their home and not having to listen to another man. See, why do you think these people have so many issues in their marriages? Because this man right here is telling these men how to look at their wives and what weight they should be and when they should have sex with them. And I'm telling you, it's on a level. And these women are like, didn't I marry you? Why is you telling me Dow said? What are you saying? How are we going to have pillow talk and his name coming up? How are we going to have a real dialogue between husband and wife and you reciting what he says? What did the Holy Spirit say to you, husband? See, y'all men and don't fool me in Israel. Y'all ain't fooling me at all. Y'all will work your tails off. Most good Israelites do. They're hard workers. I don't worry about that part. The part I worry about is you putting that same effort spiritually and getting a relationship with the Holy Spirit and hearing from him instead of another man. That's where I have a problem at. Ask Dow how many times he counseled my marriages. Ask him. And then ask him how many times did you have to go to Pastor Rufus for counsel for your marriages. Marriages. I'm saying it. Ask him. Since we're keeping this a buck, it's the way he's presenting it. This cloak of maliciousness got men hiding behind work while their families are struggling because they won't step up spiritually and lead their families, and they want this man to do it. And then when there was an issue there, Pastor Dow said, and you want to lose your wife, children, everything because of what Pastor Dow said. He ain't running a damn thing in my house. Y'all can go back and listen. He was offending my women left with me. He actually thought they would go with him. To stay with the ministry, dumbass. All right, let's go. The
Most High Yah, I preached the word, and Yah said he chose by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. And the people heard me, and when they hear me, I've got a system set up to where I direct them, depending on their geographical location, to go to different areas. And so if you're going to know if you want to know if you have a real true shepherd and not someone in title and name only, we'll see what type of people that will be brought to them that didn't come from another man's work, but based on the word that they have themselves. This is the front porch. And of course, this is the view right there. Also, hearing about maybe somewhere before Tabernacles, I got to get right here and put up a retaining wall, make the yard a little bit bigger right here. We still got work that we have to do on this lift.
Real quick, another cloak of maliciousness, because y'all can see it right here. Ask Dow who did this brickwork for him. Ask him who did this brickwork and ask him who did his ceiling, his roof. Ask him. Because I heard him say, I think he said in this video, that nothing but Israelites have touched his house. And that's just a damn lie. He got plenty of hired contractors that came in and did certain work for him. Has the majority probably been Israelites? Yeah. But this block work all the way around this mansion was not done by Israelites. That roof, that big old 13,000 square foot, it was not done by Israelites. Let's go. I just want to put that out there. Because again, pretty much everything come out of his mouth is maliciousness and this lying is misleading. And I think it's sad. You just be upfront with the people. Let them make a decision and then love them. Why is it so hard that, let's just say people wanted to leave straightway? Why is that hard for him? He's saying that they're weak, they're this. Why is that hard? Why not show them love? Help them because they've helped you for all of these years. They done labored 10, 20, 25 years with you, 30 years with you. If they want to leave, what's so hard about saying, you know what, here's a little money to help you get on your feet and go with you? Because you've been living here all this time. You're going to need something to get going. But what you do is you use fear tactics, you use intimidation, and then you cripple the people because you control everything. You don't own none of the money because you ain't earning none of it, but you control it. And that's the problem. So now they're in fear and they know you're going to get up here and do this type of stuff. Even though they worked for you 30 years, 25 years, you'll lambaste them publicly. And you ain't giving them no money, no help. Who wants to deal with that? And because men are weak spiritually, they will accept that from you. That is called tyranny, sir. I think you already know that. You've already had help in understanding a tyrannical rule and what tyranny actually is. You fit the description, sir. I just wish the people had the bravery and the love in their heart to see what's going on and let them make the decision. Guess what? A lot of people would decide to be in this, y'all. They would. They would actually say, you know what? I can deal with this. And that's on them. I ain't talking about those folk. I'm talking about the ones that are being suppressed by their voices. I'm talking about the ones that are being intimidated and made to fear this man because he controls everything. All the money, even though they bring it in, he controls it. If they get to stay or go. Y'all heard it on the one video. He's talking about Tammy's mom. He said, you can go visit your mom, your wicked heathen mom. Don't come back. Why does that not apply for him when he went to go visit his wicked in-laws? He drove all the way to Straitway, Georgia East to visit Summer's parents, and they're wicked heathens. They ain't in the faith. Why is it that you get to go visit your wicked in-laws and she can't go visit her wicked mom if she wants? Now, Tammy may not even want to go visit her mom. But you hear the control he put out there in front of everybody. If she does want to go visit, she can, but she can't come back here. All the years Tammy has lived there and served there and took care of the gardens and cooked and babies and all that stuff. If she want to see her mom, that means she's got to leave the community. Are you serious? And y'all say this is righteousness. Y'all can't see how this is a cloak of wickedness. This man is implacable. I may change the title of this video. Implacable. You can't have a covenant nor a truce with this man. He will break it as soon as you decide you don't agree with something he's saying. This is a tyrant, and he's ruling tyrannically. Guess what? For those that want to stay, stay. But there's some that don't. And I'm praying this video get to you and you have the bravery to come out. Because guess what? Yah got you just like he had you all the time you were there and all the time before you came to Straitway. He got you. That I can guarantee. But you got to step out on faith. Yes, you do. Let's go.
The weather is actually pretty good right now for us. And I actually designed, check this out. I want y'all to see this. I actually designed the brickwork on this. I designed the brickwork on this and that lintel over the top of it. Of course, we want to close this in and stuff. A lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. We're trying to get to a certain place in a certain area because as soon as all this is done, myself and Brother Scott and Brother Bud is going to be custom building every door because each door is 8 feet tall in here. And myself and Brother Scott are going to custom build every vanity and every cabinet and every storage place in this house. We're going to be doing it all ourselves. We do it all ourselves. And that's, you know, Jesus, Yeshua was a carpenter. Paul was a tent maker. We see it over and over again. I don't understand why people can't comprehend and get it.
I want to speak on that real quick, y'all. Yeshua was a carpenter. Paul was a tent maker. I'm not denying these things. Here's where I have the problem at. Anywhere in that book, show me where they emphasize the importance of Jesus being a carpenter and of Paul being a tent maker. Where was that emphasized that follow that? Now, again, I don't want people to think that I'm against being a skilled laborer. You know, I've learned some things. I learned a ton in this ministry since coming. I have that stuff I did not know how to do building wise and all that stuff. I have a very good understanding of every aspect of building now, from block work, foundation, all the way up to roofing. I do. And I learned that being in this ministry. So I'm not bashing it. But I want you to tell me where that is emphasized. I understand who they were. But where did they emphasize this is the main thing you need to be doing? Now, again, should you build your house if you can? Yes. Listen to me close. I'm not against that. But I'm not going to use that as a preaching tool to control you and say, if you ain't doing this, you ain't following Yah. I ain't finna do that. When it's time to build, it's time to build. If you can get it to a point where everybody around you can build, great. That ain't fruit, though. You will be blessed by the labor of your hands, is what the Bible say. Fruit is the spiritual work you do. Because guess what? You can build all the houses in the world. But what if you wicked like this man is and rotten and implacable like this man is on the inside, full of envies, full of jealousies? What it says, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness. Stop me when I'm not talking about thou. Full of envy, murder, debate, deceitful, malignity, whispers. That's what he was doing with Miriam, and I knew he was. And that's why I told Miriam, you a lying dog. I knew thou was whispering to him. And he lied for thou, and we caught him. Me and the elders caught him. You whisperer. Bro, all this stuff fits. This is a damnable doctrine when he's trying to tell you you can work your way into the kingdom. Come build his house with him. Come do all this. And you can work your way into the kingdom and not really deal with yourself spiritually. You men are weak in Israel. I'm just keeping it a buck. Yah designed it for you to be the patriarch of your home, not another man. He didn't say when you're in the assembly, women be silent. He said that, right? He didn't say, though, go back when you get home, call the pastor and ask him what he thinks. Or tell your husband to call the pastor and ask him. He said, ask your husbands. That means you're the spiritual head, sir. Not Dow, not any other pastor or preacher. We're here to be a support, a resource for you, an example. See, you should be able to look at how I run my family and use that to run yours. But everything that goes in my family ain't going to work for yours. It's just a guide. I shouldn't be dictating what you do and don't do with your wife. That's your job. And when it comes to your land, Yah never wanted you to give over your land. Why do y'all think we have the year of Jubilee? Why do y'all think we have that? Because he knew it would be brothers like this that would steal land from people, take land from folk, and in the end have to give it back though in the year of Jubilee. See, Yah was prepared for all of this. Y'all need to go study these things. Y'all need to go study these things. That's the year of restoration. Give these people back. I think we're coming up on a Jubilee because these folk need to get back. Because when they came up out of the bondage, they came out with substance. They came out with substance. Let's go.
But I hope that if you have ears to hear, I hope you get this. I said 3 years running. And it's probably going to take me another year on this house whenever we can get the opportunity to get to it and build. But I can tell you this, there's no debt incurred with this. No debt whatsoever at all. None of the homes, none of the dining facilities, none of the
Thank you, Saints, for paying for his home. Thank you, Saints. I'll say it even if he don't.
Now, because anything that we build, there's no debt. We build as we go, and we don't owe no man nothing but to love them. Nobody's running any debt whatsoever at all. Just had a brother just moved here on the land and said, Pastor, I do have a little debt, and I have the money. What do you want me to do? I said, pay it. Pay it off. And he said, hallelujah. And that's how we do. That's how we run. Because, when you go out there, or if you have money, why give that sister money that you can put back in Israel and circulate it again and again and again? Now, we've had some brothers, like there's a brother down in Straitway, Georgia. Brother Tim used to live there. He has to actually move off the land because the debt that he incurred because of bad leadership, bad direction and stuff like that. And it's just done nothing but put him in a hole. It's done nothing but put him in a hole. And so now he has to live off the community in order to be able to get things done, because on the community we give off. And in order to be able to make ends meet. Now, I don't know what his plan is, but he says, Pastor, I'm not going nowhere. I'm right around the corner. I'm showing up every Sabbath. It's just that I feel like this is something I need to do in order to get on the right standing and the right mark. Well, I say,
I'm so happy this came up. All right. He calls this bad leadership, bad whatever, right? If Tim had credit card debts, houses and lands in his name, vehicles in his name, I would understand that. He would have a valid point, y'all. But let me tell you what Tim's debt is, since he put it out there. Tim owes child support, y'all. And Tim owes taxes. Mind you, the community helped him before he even came on the community get his business started. They did. Judah Property Pros is what it's called. I didn't set up the tax structure for Judah Property Pros. I don't care what that boy say. I didn't instruct him in any way, shape, fashion, or form not to pay his taxes. Here's why I can tell you that. When he came to me and told me he owed taxes, guess what we did? I said, set up on a payment plan, and we'll pay him every month on the community. That's what I did. I did the same when Vernon had taxes. I did the same when anybody had taxes. Now, here's the thing, though. How's that debt to me? These are men. Now, Vernon knows the community paid everything to set up debt porches and more. But I still put that in Vernon's name. He couldn't understand at the time why I did it. But I said we have all things common. Everything don't have to be in my name. And if you're going to be, quote unquote, like he said, the face of this and running it day to day, why not have it in your name? And I actually said to him back then when we did it in 18, if something go wrong, you at least got you a company, brother. And guess what? He couldn't understand that at the time. Same thing for Tim. Now, I don't want to get off this too far. I really want y'all to slow down and think what I'm going to tell y'all. Listen to what Dow said closely. Tim told him that he needed to move off of the community to be able to pay his debts properly. Think about that, y'all. Think about that. Take your time. He said he needed to move off of the community to properly pay his debts. Do you not incur more debts moving off the community? Now you have a rent payment to pay for wherever you stand. Now you have to pay for your gas. Now you have to pay for your food. Now you have to pay for your work clothes. Now you have to pay any expense you got. You have to pay for that and still have enough money to pay your debt. Now, when you're on the community at Georgia, you paid for none of that. You paid for none of that. As Tim was his child support, as Tim was his taxes, payments, the payments, were they behind when I was in control? Because guess what? What I would tell him is take the payments out of the money you earned, Tim. There were many times where Tim had to come to me and say, I didn't earn nothing, elder. And I say, here, what's due? Child support. Boom, put it in his account. What's due? Taxes. Boom, put it in his account. Right from the community. See, the problem wasn't bad management. It's brothers that ain't earning the money the way they should. And they want to get mad at me when I say this, but they know it's true and I got all the receipts. But here's the thing. I never put those brothers on blast all those years. Never. Guess what I did? I would go out and earn money to make up the hedge for what they weren't bringing in. See, in my eyes, I call that having all things common and being my brother's keepers. I never once asked any of the leaders that I ever complained to them, man, my brothers don't make enough money. They ain't doing what they're supposed to do. Nope. I was happy because they were still free to be able to go out there and serve the saints in all these other areas and be able to serve y'all more than serve the heathens. I never made a big deal about it. Now, ask them, the two brothers that ran the companies, Tim and Vernon, that I ever once tell them to turn down a job or a job they wanted, or, you know what I mean? Like hindered them from taking any jobs that they could create. The problem was creating the jobs. So now you want to spin it down and act like my management cost this man to go into debt. But think about it, y'all. Think about it. My management didn't it's taxes and child support. How do I control that? And again, go ask Tim that when I was there, was he current? Ask him. Ask him, was he current? Because anytime he came and said, I don't have it, that happened, y'all. That happened often. I can't say frequently, but it happened plenty of times. I would just send him the money. I would just tax, boom, 700. Child support, 1,000. There you go. That's what I would do. All things common. Now, I still got a point to make before I get going in this. How is that going to help this man get his money paid off? How's it going to help him when he's incurring all these other bills? He's got a wife and 3 boys and 3 girls. He's got 6 children. How is he going to go out on his own and make it easier for him to pay his debt? Tim didn't leave to pay his debt. That's just the excuse he used to get off that community and not be under Brother Vernon. That's all. Brother Vernon's up here crying and, there ain't many people here now and it's tough and da-da-da-da. I know what's going on. I already know. Now, how is it that I can successfully, don't believe this man, run this community from 2011 all the way up to 2024? That's what, 13, 14 years? If you count right, 13, 14, 14. If you're counting right. How can I do that with no complaints, no issues whatsoever? Then all of a sudden in 6 months, it's finna go down. It's literally finna be dissolved. And I told them brothers there, Dow don't love y'all like that. If you can't go out and do it on your own, Dow gonna make you look bad. Because guess what? How long we gonna blame Pastor Rufus for the issues they got there now when they never had these issues when I was there? Ever. Wasn't no late payments. When he said he needed it, I sent him the money every single time. Ask him if I'm lying. He can blame me in his heart and mind all day. I ain't got no control over that because guess what? Any job he did, he could have had him take taxes out. That was his choice. Did I support him in the choice? Absolutely, because he's my brother. And when he came and said, I made this arrangement, I got to pay $700 a month. Cool, brother. Pay $700 a month. And when you don't make it on your check, I got you. The community got you. That's the truth, y'all. See the cloak of maliciousness. Do you see it? Do you not see it? This is the stuff I'm talking about. But think about that, though, real quick before I go to the next thing. How's a man going to be able to pay his debts easier by leaving a community when he's going to have to incur all these things that the community is supposed to be covering. Because when I was there, he paid nothing. He didn't pay for his work clothes. He didn't pay for the gas in his vehicles. He didn't pay for the insurance. He didn't pay for the food that he ate. He didn't pay for none of that. The community did. So now he's got to go out and do all of that and pay these debts that he claimed he's incurred. No, Tim, let's keep it a buck. Tim used that excuse to get off that community. That's all. Because if the community's run right, it should be easier for him to pay his debts off. Now, I'm going to say this publicly because some of you have heard it and some of you haven't. This is the love I have for him. And I've already told him I'm going to take care of it because I love him. I love him. I love Mike. I love those brothers. When this, because they told me to sell everything, right? When the multi-purpose building sells, a few people on it and I'm working, I had an offer that I just wouldn't take. It was too low in my opinion. But I got stuff going on. It's going to sell when y'all says it's going to sell. But when it does, guess what I'm going to do, y'all? I'm going to call Tim and say, give me the information, bro. Give me the person's name, give me whatever, and I'm going to pay his taxes for him. This is exactly what I'm going to do. He's saying it's up to $40,000 now. And I wasn't that high before, y'all. I don't know what done happened between now and then. If he's saying that, I'm going to believe Tim. But I don't care how high they are. Once that multi-purpose building sells, I'm going to pay his taxes. If Mike got taxes, I'm going to pay his. Vernon ain't getting a damn thing from me. He can forget it. You lying false witness. You take that to Yah. But Tim and Mike, I'm going to keep my word with them. That's what I'm going to do. He said split the profits with them. It's going to be more than what they should have got to get these taxes paid. But guess what? Now they ain't going to have no debt. And we're going to see what the excuses are then. Community didn't create all that. That's these guys making these decisions. Because any check you get, guess what? You can have taxes taken out of it. Anything you're doing, you can choose to have taxes taken from it. Would that mean he's bringing in less to the community? Yeah. Think about it. Why would a guy not have taxes taken out? Because he's not happy with the amount he's able to give the community anyway. So you want to give more. Enough of that. Let's get through this, y'all, because I didn't mean for this video to be this long. Let's go.
Go ahead, brother. Hallelujah. Glory to the King. But we don't run no debt in Israel. The borrower is a servant or the borrower is a slave to the lender. We don't do that. Not in Israel. In any way, shape, fashion, or form. And if we do have any type of debt, it's not long-standing debt. The debt, if it's a big astronomical, we got a thing like within a year, you better have that damn thing paid off. If you can't do that, then don't get any. But here at Straitway at the hub, we don't run debt. We don't run debt at all. Now, sometime, as far as building credit, I have a ministry credit account. Okay, we started off. They gave us something like maybe, I don't know, 10, 15, maybe $20,000 of credit. And since then, they done moved our credit limit up to $40,000. That means we can go out and purchase $40,000 worth of whatever. But if I went up there and asked them, and looking at our history over the last couple of years we've been with them, if I tell them I want it to 80,000, they'll move it to 80. That's just I hadn't done it. They just automatically do it on their own. That's because they know your word is bond. They know you have good faith and you operate in the fidelity and truth. And that's how you get good credit. And I say it over and over again. My credit score right now, I don't know why it fluctuates because I don't have any debt, but I know what they're saying. You need to have like something to show because we pay it off every month, right? So my credit score is sitting right now at 817.
For those that don't know, the scriptures call this boasting. Because there's really no reason for y'all to know any of this information. This is private information. It's no reason to know it. The reason he does it is because he thinks that others don't have as good a credit score as he do. That's what he thinks. This is called boasting for those that don't know. Let's go.
Which I don't understand. It used to be at 835. I don't understand how I got to 817 because there's no debt involved. But I do understand, I guess, a little bit. Now, if you want to build credit, obviously, you're going to have to go out there and buy something on credit if you're going to be using credit. You buy something on credit, and then you pay it over a 6 to 8 month period. That's enough to establish that you are a man and woman of your word and truth. The reason why the world don't give people loans out there that has bad credit or they charge them an exorbitant amount of high interest rate is because they can't trust you. And if it's going to be like that and they can't trust you, and that's your credit history, so we got to make sure you got some teeth in the game. You see, whereas I could go out there and get a loan and get at the lowest rate possible. I think the lowest rate right now is what, 6%, 8%, something like that. I could probably get a little bit cheaper than that if I went to a credit union. But if you got bad credit, they're gonna give you. They can say, no, you can have this particular vehicle, or you can get this particular purchase for whatever you want to buy, but at 29% interest rate. And you know just as well as I do, that principal is not going down at all. With that kind, you're paying a hell of a lot of interest, and very little is going to the principal. And that's the reason why people get upside down. And that's the reason why, hey, you want to know if a man and woman is any good at their word, check their credit history. It tells you everything you need to know about them. because that's how the world deals. The world don't deal with about what you.
Now, by that man's own admission, listen to what he said. If you want to know if a person you can trust them, go check their credit history. So how many of y'all out there thought about that when he said that and said, God dang, look what my credit's been? Now, that's a private, personal thing. And he's saying it. It's carnal. But now I'm supposed to judge you spiritually for what you do carnally. How many of y'all would pass that test? And I'm not talking about the credit evaluation test. For the things you do carnally, do they speak to who you are spiritually? That's what this man just said. Do y'all not see this? With his own mouth. If you want to see if a person is trustworthy, go check their credit. Now, for us, what the world will call a good credit score, you got a good credit score if you're over 750. So for us that would have good credit, does that automatically mean that we good spiritually? Are y'all listening to this stuff? Let's go.
Say they deal with your history by what you do. And again, what we do here is we pay everything off as we go. Now, the brother from Wisconsin bought down all this plaster right here, all right, through that trailer that they have out there. And of course, now I owe the community of Wisconsin, I think maybe $4,000 something, I guess. So when Jordan will go back here in a couple of weeks before Tabernacles, I'm just going to simply put a check in his hand and they'll go give it to Elder Kabir and they'll just go ahead and pay that bill. And that's the way things should work in Israel. But I thank the Father for the labor of love that everybody has actually come down here and actually has been instrumental in working on this building. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do sometime during Tabernacles that's coming up, I'm actually going to get a picture of everybody who's had their hand on this building. We're going to take a picture of it at this particular stake, stand out there, and I want to be able to hang it up in my office. And I truly do, so I can really see all the labor of love that people have put into it, their time, their energy, and their effort. There's nothing like real Israel. There's just nothing like it. And of course, it comes from leadership. And people follow me as I follow Messiah, and they're just extremely happy.
The Messiah never used the people to do the physical labor. The Messiah never took all their money. The Messiah never even controlled them. If they wanted to go do something, he would let them. And he still would love them. You know how I know he still would love them? Because when he was hanging on that tree, when they were out there mocking and jeering him and deriding him, guess what they said? Guess what he said? Father, forgive them. They know what they do. I wonder if you saying that about the people you call enemies. I don't think so, because I watched a little show the other day, a little bit at the beginning of it. And I saw yourself and Pastor Corey and Michael Israel. I saw y'all celebrating over the Ringgold and the New Breed fallout and all that. I saw y'all celebrating over them brothers falling out. We called it. I told you what was going to happen, and you can never trust the thieves and all this, and putting up sizzle gifts and gifs or whatever you call those things. I saw y'all. I saw the happiness in your heart that these brothers have fallen apart from each other. Then I also saw your maliciousness. I did. Because see, a real spiritual brother Charatazar, he saw what happened from the beginning. He saw what happened from the beginning and how New Breed was not being a true brother to him by going out there charging him all that kind of stuff. He did a real good video on it. He did. He did a real good video on it. And when New Breed called me, I told him from what he said to me. He told me it was a misunderstanding on his part. And I said, well, go apologize, brother. You're admitting you did wrong. This was before all these videos, y'all, before all this crazy stuff was going on. He called me and admitted he was the one did wrong. He didn't listen to the messages that Ringo sent, and it was a misunderstanding on his part. That's what New Breed said to me. So that's why I counseled him. Go repent to the brother then. Go repent to the brothers. 2 months that went by. Go repent. Because of his testimony to me. But y'all are reveling in it. Y'all are happy to see this back and forth and all this foolishness and all that. Y'all happy. Didn't I read to you earlier what the book says in Proverbs about this? Huh? Didn't I read to you earlier? You don't care nothing about that, though. You rejoice when your so-called enemies are falling. But guess what? You're going to be falling soon. Let's go.
Happy about it. Again, it's a beautiful thing. The few little vacant homes that we had here in the last couple of months, because 2 families decided to leave, we've already done filled in. Already filled in. Know this, that whenever you go, I don't care what it is, somebody is always there willing to take your place, ready to move in. And usually, for the most part, the people that usually move in, they're better quality and better spiritual and have more spirituality than the people that left before.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that shot? Usually, the people that fill those spots, they are better quality individuals and more spiritual than the people that left. See the backhand you're going to get if you decide to leave Pastor down? He wasn't. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this in perspective. Two of the people that y'all know left, Brother Victor, the young skinny black, or the younger looking skinny black brother. I'm going back to the video where he claimed the Georgia people were testifying against me. Remember that video? And he called out two people that live there on his land that give their money and trying to give an example of how much money the saints give. Y'all know both of those people left. Brother Victor, the black guy, and Brother Ray, the foreign guy from Sweden. Look at the backhand he giving them. Now, y'all heard these men get up and talking about they would hand him their whole checks. And whatever he wanted to give them back, he could. They worked there tirelessly. Ever heard any complaints about Ray? Any complaints about Brother Victor? Sacrificed tirelessly. But now because they disagree with him, anybody that comes in has a better spirit than them. And they're a better person than them. And you want to know why people are afraid to stand up to him that live there. How would you feel if you invested 20, 25, 30 years of your life? You went out and worked, and now your body can't even work no more. Your knees are shot. Your arms are gone because you worked so much, because you would work 40, 50 hours a week on your regular job and bring in thousands of dollars a week for him, right? Then you would get on the land and work another 20 to 30 hours a week, working literally 80 to 90-hour weeks. And he's pushing, go hard, go hard, go hard, because he ain't doing that work, y'all. He ain't working like the saints are working. Only working he doing is in that gym. That's it. He'll put 3-4 hours a day in that booger. He ain't doing that, y'all. But he's got these men out here working themselves to the bone. How would you feel if you did that? Your body's broke down. Now you can't generate income. And if you decide you want to leave, he will say you never was nothing good for me. You didn't learn how to do building. You never learned how to be a block mason. All you want to do is the base stuff. Like it's not important to take out the trash. Like it's not important to do a trash run. Like it's not important to clean out the chicken coops. See, you put merit, like he would respect someone that does this work here on the house better than someone that's taking care of the lands. But what happens the day the person don't want to properly take care of the chickens and all of them get infected and you eat them eggs or you eat that meat from them and all the community is sick now with disease? I bet you care about that man's dedication to it then. There is no job on a community more important than another. None. I don't care what this dog try to tell y'all. Every single job is extremely important. So that's why I should never be above you. You got to go clean chicken coop, go get your shovel and get that booger cleaned out. If you got to wash and get on your hands and knees and scrub toilets, get on your hands and knees and scrub toilets. And do it for the love of Yah. It's reasonable service. No man gets greater accolades because he can do something skilled that Yah blessed him with that ability. Go back and read, y'all, how when it was time to build the temple, how Yah blessed these men to be able to do these specific things for the temple. But they didn't get greater praise than the guys that did the base stuff for the temple. They didn't. It's all the same. This dude, man, I'm telling y'all, this is sad. This is sad. The intimidation, the fear, and the backlash, that's what got people walking around in fear. You need to trust Yah because Yah hasn't given you a spirit of fear. Power, love, and a sound mind. You better operate in it.
And of course, you know, with everything in life, sometimes you just have bad divorces. You understand? I mean, it's just the way it is because there's a propensity in humanity to be stubborn because we're stubborn people by nature. Hopefully we can get out of that. That's the hope of it. Well, anyway, I got a lot of work to do right now. As a matter of fact, even today, I got to actually be in court. And the court is
you got a lot of work to
because
do.
I'm doing more and more and more.
See, I thought you had a lot of work to do there. See, the impression with the pencils and all that is that he's going to work there. But he's telling you got to go to court. If you're going to court, you're going to Nashville. That's an hour and a half drive. So how much work's going to get done there on the land today? I'm not saying the man ain't busy and got stuff to do. You see what I'm talking about, this cloak of maliciousness, though. If you just watch this video and look, you finna think this man finna get in here and work. He finna get down with the brothers. Look at all the pencils. He finna do measurements. He's finna do all this. No, he ain't. He wants you to think that. But then he's telling on himself, I'm finna go to court. I'm finna go to court and do a good thing. I'm finna get all these lands to where we don't have to pay taxes on it. I'm finna tell you now, Dow, something you don't know, obviously. That move is going to come back to haunt you, brother. That move that you're doing right now, it's going to come back to haunt you. You've been listening to the wrong counsel because the Bible didn't tell you to do that. The Bible didn't tell you to do that. Yeah, the Bible tells us to be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. This is finna cost you right here, though, brother. This is finna cost you. I'll let you learn it on your own. Hey, y'all mark the note on this video. I told him because I know he's going to get somebody to tell him. you're going to regret that decision.
Well, like I said, we have our whole entire land exempt. Now I'm working on a building or two to make sure we get that, and that way we can be done. You're looking at a portion of the roof right there. Things get done. But anyway, I got stuff in my hands. I'm going to
A roof that the Israelites didn't do.
go ahead and let y'all go. Y'all have a wonderful day. King is coming. Bless y'all. All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Stop this.
Ladies and
I'm going to learn how to do this better, y'all. I'm almost done this video. So I think I showed y'all enough. And I really just want y'all to be able to make a spiritual decision for what you're seeing. I literally met a brother today, y'all. No lie. I won't call his name out. He said he's going to put in the video that he saw me. No, I won't even say his name. I know it. But the brother was expressing how this whole thing hurt him. Like, man, this is just so jacked up. And he said, I asked the brother, you a believer? And I looked him in the eye and he's like, I'm trying. And I knew what that meant, y'all. Like, he recognized me. I'm walking out of Sprouts and he recognized me and said, you look like Rufus. I said, I am. From YouTube, you know. So I go up, give him a pound, chop it up with the brother. But I'm feeling the brother's pain. Because he said he's been following all this. You could feel the pain in him. And I said, brother, you a believer? And he was just like, man, I want to be. I'm trying. And I said, brother, you are. You keeping them laws and statutes and commandments, man, it ain't going to be perfect. Nobody said once you get filled with the Holy Spirit and do all this stuff, you're going to be perfect. Do you love Yah? He said, oh, no doubt. I said, man, you a believer, brother. We can work on the rest later. And I told him to reach out to me on there, let me know who he is. And since we're close, why not I stay in communication with this brother? But see, you never know who's really watching. But see, I could hear in his voice. This is confusing to him because when he reads that book and reads about Jesus and the disciples, you hear a bunch of love, 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 love. He's not seeing that with us. He's not seeing, you're seeing brothers that are implacable. I'm telling y'all right now, and I don't care who they are. You hear me? I don't care who they are. If you see a brother talking about, I don't want to reconcile, I don't have nothing to say to this man, and I don't ever want to see him again, I hope his children die, all this kind of crazy stuff, that's what the Bible is talking about when it says implacable. These men are truceless. You can't have a truce with them. You can't have a covenant with them. But why? Because if it don't go the way they think it should go, they're going to want to cut you off. And then at that time, they're going to want to try to blast you and act like they're going to expose you for the iniquities in your life. Again, live holy, live righteous. You ain't got to worry about it. Because when the devil goes before the Most High accusing the brethren, just make sure them accusations he's got are incorrect and they false. And all y'all sees is the blood of Jesus covering you. All right. The devil going to go accuse you all the time. This man right here, he tried to decimate my character, didn't he? But guess what? He didn't do nothing but build it up. And the problem he had was from his own mouth. He kept saying, y'all gonna judge by the fruit, judge by the fruit, judge by the fruit. And he want people to say, oh, we're building. What is he doing? We're planting gardens. What is he doing? See, real spiritual people understand that ain't fruit. I'm not a Pharisee. I'm not a scribe. I'm not trying to put my work out here in front of y'all to impress y'all. But the ones that I'm dealing with, they know. The ones that I do interact with on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, they know. And guess who else knows? He knows. I ain't going to do it like this dog. I promise you. I am learning how not to do it, y'all, from this dog. I promise you I am. I promise you I am. I'm learning everything how not to do. And guess what? Some of you want to be spoon-fed. What I give you? What I give y'all today? Ezekiel. Ooh-wee. That kind of scared me, a little thunder. Ezekiel, thank you, Father. 18, 30 through 32. Proverbs 24, what was it, 16, 17, 15, 16, 17. 1 Peter 2, and Romans 1, 29 through 32. I gave you 4 scriptures. I don't need to spoon feed you like these dogs do. They want to control you. That's why when they teach, they want to give you 50 scriptures. And then I ask you 3 hours later, what was the message about? And you can't even remember. You need something tangible that you can chew on, eat on, meditate on, get in your spirit, and then say, okay, y'all, show me what this means for me. Where's the revelation for me in this? How you going to do that if you got 80 scriptures to go over every week? Y'all are used to this religious system spoon feeding y'all, doing everything for you. Then you become religious relics and want to get out here and quote scriptures all day. What scriptures did you hear the apostles quote? When did they say turn to the book of this and turn to the book of this? And y'all, that's not even our speech. The law is put in our hearts. It should just come out in our normal speech. Those of y'all that are spiritual people, y'all hear all the scripture coming out of my mouth as I'm talking. I'm just not finna spoon feed you and take you into chapter and verse for it. You desire it, go get it. I'm drinking from the well, that wellspring. I ain't thirsting. Do your due diligence. But all that stacking it up and that's spoon feeding you. And for what? Most of you got books and books of notes. Bibles all marked up and all that and can't love your neighbor. You think you getting in like that? Nothing that offends is getting into the kingdom, y'all. I come look at some of y'all. Y'all got 6, 7 Bibles, the sources and all this stuff, all highlighted up and all. You can tell you've been thumping that thing. But then when I tell you that's your brother and that's your sister, you look at them sideways. I don't know them. They my brother. And you think you getting in. You think you getting in because you spending 2 hours a night studying the Bible, but you have no love, no compassion, no brotherly kindness in your heart. Book says, oh, no man, nothing but love. But you see certain people because of their color. You see certain people because of their background, and you automatically shut them down. You automatically X them out. I'm not saying invite everybody into your house for fellowship, but why be vicious? Why be mean? Why be evil towards people that love y'all and that are trying? Some of you ain't never had the love of y'all in your heart. And guess what? This booger right here, he's showing you how to be wicked. He is. He's showing you how to present yourself like you something righteous, but behind the scenes, be a tyrannical dictator and ruler. He's a tyrant. Go look up the definition of tyrant. I promise you're going to think of Pastor Dowell and the stuff he does. Go look up a tyrannical rule. It's the stuff he's doing. I've already put this challenge out, and I'm going to put it out again for him before I end this video. If everybody on that land in straitway is happy, prove it. Get up there tomorrow and Sabbath, tomorrow morning, and give them an option. And don't see this what you would do. Give them the option to say, look, it's being said that the people live on this land are oppressed and they really don't want to be here. And I don't possess brotherly love. Here's my brotherly love to you. I won't make no videos about you. I won't speak about you or nothing. I don't care if you've been with me like Teacher Shane 30 years or this other saint that's been here a year. If you think my ways are oppressive and tyrannical and you really don't want to be here, this is what I'll do because I have love in my heart because I'm a brother. I will give you $10,000. Anybody can move and get a place set up with $10,000, especially in the South. I will make sure you have a vehicle that fits you and your family. I'm not finna give you a sedan when you got 4 children. You will get a full-size SUV. You'll get a pickup truck. You'll get something. Because Yah will provide for us. We're going to be fine. Whatever the need is for you, you will get. And we will help you pack your stuff. We will hug you. We will cry. And we will send you on your way. I won't accuse you of taking your hand off the plow. Because, again, I don't control the plow. I'm just your brother. That's what Jesus said. Jesus said I'm not supposed to be called rabbi. He told you that I'm not supposed to be called father. And I'm definitely not supposed to be called your master. Do that, Dow. See how many people come to you and say they want to do it. Now, don't be malicious with it. Because what you would probably do is try to do a variant of that and say, look, speak now or forever hold your peace. Knowing that people are on live YouTube and probably don't want to put their hands up. Put it out there and tell them anytime you want that, you can have that. Because I don't want to dictate and rule over you. If this is not the place for you, I want you to go and be where you free. And guess what? When I first met Dow, y'all, that's how he talked. That's how he talked. He didn't have all this stuff for saints back then. They wanted to leave. He was doing it. Go back and I'm telling you, I remember Dow's testimony at Eric Fun. I didn't know Eric Fun. He was before me. But I remember Dow's testimony saying how he wanted to try to help this man and give him some money and all. They just didn't have a lot of money back then. So he like gave him a little bit to leave. And then he had promised the brother he would give him some as he left or whatever the case may be. I don't know what happened to that, but I heard the sincerity in this man's voice talking about that bad situation because Fun went out there and made videos about him, apparently. Testimony videos about him. See if he'll do it. See if he'll do it without trying to manipulate it and still intimidate the people. Tell them you're not going to make videos about them. Tell them you're not going to speak about them. Tell them you'll give them 10 grand because they can. Anybody that need more than that got problems. In the South, you should be able to find something to get you set up for a hot minute. Then you trust Yah, because some of you going to need jobs. Some of you going to need some other stuff. Trust Yah. He got you. I promise you he do. That I can promise. He got you. Humble yourself and reach out to the people you need to, and you'll get what you need. That I can guarantee. Let's see what kind of humility he got. Let's see if he's not a tyrant over the people. He is, because he ain't going to offer them that. Don't say you can't afford $10,000 past Dow when you building a mausoleum. When you building a hotel, bro. You building a hotel. You can't tell folk you ain't got 10 grand. If 10 families left, that's only $100,000. Take it out of the money you got from sister from North Carolina. I almost said her name. From sister from North Carolina. Take it out of the money you got from Alabama. Take it out of the money you got from Brother Ross up there. Take it out of the money you got. Well, that probably went to Kabir. Take it out of the money you got from Brother Bud's son. These are hundreds of thousands of dollars. 200,000, 187,000, 900,000. Come on, bro. You got the money. I know that house costs a lot. You've been building on for 3 or 4 years. I don't even want to talk about the money my son-in-law gave you. Take it out of that. You got it. Give the people an option. And guess what, Dow? Guess what? This is what you get from me. Do it publicly like that. And then when nobody, see, y'all don't know what he going to do behind the scenes, though. Because he don't want that. He don't want that. He was crying before he had more money coming in when these families left, because these families took their labor and they took their finances. When people like Brother Rich, Brother Nate, and Sarah, when what's his name, Brother Victor and Jordan left and their children, and when Brother Ray and his family left, Adele, when they left, lost a lot of money, lost a lot of labor. Now that you got some people in with some money, now you want to brag, now you want to act like you back on top, and these people are better. La, 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 la. All right, give everybody else that option to where they don't have to be oppressed by you. They don't have to be lambasted for their character, because you ain't lambasting them now as long as you're getting everything you want from them. Tell them it'll be a total mute if you leave. We'll keep it private and we'll help you leave. Nobody has to come and help you. We'll get you the U-Haul trucks. Whatever you need, we're going to help you because we're brothers. And if you're not happy here, I would prefer you to leave. Be a brother to these people. Be a brother to them. You can't do it. You can't do it. I would love to see it. And guess what? If the people say they ain't leaving and they're fine, you'll hear me say nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. If all those folk, and if I can get in contact and hear, because again, I don't trust you. I don't trust your word at all. You can't tell me nothing. I would want to hear it from them. I don't want to hear it from them. Or somebody trusted like Elder Becker. I know he's not going to just make up a lie and tell it to me. I'll talk to him, not you. You're a liar. And you've proven that. Show the people you got love for the people, because these are accusations that are out there against you. And we can prove them. Oh, we can prove them. Believe me, you don't really want me to prove them, Dow. You don't want me to expose the stuff that I do have. Oh, in due season. This is me. This is me trying to do reconciliation, because I just want those people to get free. From what I'm hearing, they're crying out. They're crying out. Now, if I'm hearing wrong, prove it without you putting this cloak of maliciousness over them behind the scenes. Get up on the camera, then behind the scenes being a tyrant. Going to them, convincing them that, no, what you say, it wasn't this, and what this is this, and this, and this, and that ain't what I meant. And I know what you did, bro. I know exactly what you did. I know exactly what you did. And to think I was a brother to this dude, man. And I still have to pray for this dude because the scriptures command me to do it. I don't get no joy out of this. I don't get no refreshing out of this. I want y'all's people free, though. That book is clear. The law is clear. We're not supposed to oppress our brothers. We're not supposed to put them in bondage. This man is putting them in bondage, and he's using fear. He's using intimidation with these people. And they're afraid of getting up here, being treated like I was treated. Here it is. I'm second in command. Let them tell it. Let them tell it. Not me. Let them tell it. I'm your right-hand man. I'm the closest to you, next to Sister Carol. I know you better than anybody except her. And look how you trying to do me. You can imagine what you do with one of them. And guess what? We got audio and everything and witnesses that Mir is on the same page as you. We do. He got the same desire. Let's make this thing so scary that nobody ever will raise up against leadership again. That's coming out of Mir's mouth. He said that. And we got proof. We want to levy this hammer so hard that nobody will ever come up against leadership again. What kind of shit is that? Where you read that in the book? Show me that in text, since we spoon feeding the people. Somebody show me that in text. Well, that's what we're supposed to do as leaders. That's called tyrannical ruling. Now, Jesus said, don't be their masters. They're your brothers. Don't be a master over them. Don't rule over the people. They're your brothers. We're all fitting in the body together. You ain't finna have no higher position in the body than me. Because you ain't gonna make it like this. You heard what it said in what was the last one I read? Romans? Was that Romans I read last? Yeah. You heard what it said in Romans and in First Peter. You heard what it said. I don't need smooth speech and a ton of scriptures to persuade people. Live righteous, live holy. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Do that. Ain't no love coming from this camp at all. No love whatsoever. Not from these leaders. The ones that do, they silent, they scared, they fearful, they chickens. And the ones that are talking are foolish and putting themselves right in the line of judgment. Man, I'm going to get off of this. Y'all heard enough. This video's been long enough. Y'all heard enough. I hope we have a better understanding of this cloak of maliciousness and what an implacable individual looks like. Yeah. That's implacable right there. That's implacable. Oh, I should go this way, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'm pointing at myself. No, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, you should. That is you. No, I don't have a problem with truces. I make truces with men all the time. I tried to make a truce with this man. I did. I tried to keep it in house. I tried. Tell them to release the tapes and y'all will hear it. If they released tape when he was in Wisconsin, and if they released those tapes when I talked with the Georgia brothers, those 3 tapes, you would hear that I was trying to reconcile. This man rejected it from the time he was offended and butthurt up there when I talked to him like a real man. He rejected me from that day forward, and he gonna constantly reject me. You heard him say it. There's no way this man will ever be around me ever again. That's him. That's implacable. That's what the book says. Truceless. Can't make a truce with a man like this. Because again, I'm bad for his business. I'm very bad for his business. He didn't know how bad I was going to be for his business. Now he's seeing. And it ain't even me, y'all. I'm using me because y'all know, y'all will understand. It's really Yah. It's the judgment of Yah. Yah not finna just let you keep abusing his people. He not. Let his people go. Quit controlling them, Pharaoh.